of Linda Edwards.
I should have worn a jacket. I would like to thank Elaine for asking me to speak here today. It's a great honor to speak on this National Day of Remembrance. Like most of you, remembering isn't limited to one day, but today we can join together and support one another. I realize I'm not a parent of a murdered child, but several years ago, I was told by Elaine and Dee that they didn't care and they welcomed me with open arms anyway. My mother's name is Linda Edwards. On August 22nd, 1976, her car was found parked on Highway 290 off Carpenter Dam in Hot Springs, Arkansas. A full-scale search and rescue operation of the area began on the August 23rd, including a helicopter search. Many citizens assisted in this operation, an effort my family has been very grateful for all of these years. Much to our dismay, she wasn't found. At first, my sister Kim and I were told our mother was on vacation. Later, we were told that she was lost and that law enforcement had flyers out trying to find her. In February of 1977, a hunter found human bones on Jack Mountain in Hot Spring County, approximately a quarter mile over the Hot Spring-Garland County line. The bones were later determined to be the remains of my mother. The autopsy determined the cause of death to be blunt trauma to the head with compound skull fractures. One day soon after the hunter found my mother's skeletal remains, my dad told my sister and me he needed to speak with us. He sounded sad. Kim and I both kept asking him what was wrong, but he kept getting choked up. When he was finally able to gain enough composure, he told us our mother wasn't coming home because she had died and gone to heaven. Kim and I immediately began crying and asked him what happened and what did he mean she wasn't coming home. With tears in his eyes, he did his best to explain to two small children, ages 6 and 4, the reason why their mother wasn't coming home. By this time, all three of us were crying. We couldn't stop. We sat on the bed holding one another and sobbing. After a little bit, I asked my dad if he was going to disappear and never come back. He kept assuring me that wasn't going to happen. Kim kept saying she was going to run away to the woods and die so she could go to heaven and be with our mother. That was a day I will never forget. In 1976, Kim and I lost our mother. Her murderer suffered a few months of discomfort while the investigation was in progress. My mother's case did not go to trial as presiding judge Henry Means ruled almost all of the conversation as hearsay and all evidence as circumstantial. The charges were dropped against the accused Hot Springs police officer Thurman Abernathy. Sometime in 1979, the case fell by the wayside due to lack of progress, time, money, and energy. In 2004, Kim and I signed paperwork to have our mother's remain exhumed, since much of the hearsay dismissed by Judge Means was based on the lack of proof that the alleged murderer was the father of her baby. We are requesting to have the remains tested for DNA to provide proof of parentage. To date, nothing has happened with the exhumation request. We have been told even with the presence of DNA, a conviction is still a crapshoot. However, many criminals have been convicted on far less circumstantial evidence. I would like to share one good memory I have about my mother. It's a memory that always makes me smile. One day my mother and I were in her bedroom and I found a bunny costume. Apparently I had been a bunny on previous Halloween. I don't know if it was Bugs Bunny. I don't know what color the suit was. I would like to think it was Bugs Bunny though, since I am a guy, okay? I told my mother I wanted to put it on. It was a one-piece bunny suit with a zipper up the front. She kept telling me I was too big and I wouldn't fit into that little bunny suit. I persisted and she finally gave in. I managed to get both of my feet and legs in the little bunny suit. As I pulled it up, I realized it was a little too tight, but I kept going because I knew I could fit into it. I had trouble getting my arms in the small sleeves, and I struggled with it quite a bit, but I eventually got the suit on. But the moment I got the suit on was the moment I realized beyond a shadow of a doubt I really was too big for that little suit. I started trying to take it off. No matter which way I maneuvered, wiggled, or jumped, I couldn't get that bunny suit off. At this point, I could hear my mother laughing. I really wasn't paying attention to her as I was struggling to get that little bunny suit off. My jumping around must have been quite a sight because it only made my mother laugh that much harder. By this time, I was feeling claustrophobic and like I was going to hyperventilate. I needed to get that suit off. I began and hollered, "Mama, Mama, help me get this bunny suit off." That just made her clutch her stomach and roll around on the bed laughing even harder. I was standing there watching her roll around while laughing at the whole situation. I really remember she was a happy person. I was asked to speak today as an advocate for cold cases and to share some of the things I'm doing to move my mother's case forward. My interest in cold cases came about because of my mother's murder in 1976. Her mother has remained on the unsolved list for 36 years now. I realize I am not the only person feeling as if my mother's case is not moving forward. I never considered myself as an advocate for cold cases, but in a way I guess I am. When I was a teenager in California, a case popped up on TV. It was America's Most Wanted. It was a case based here in Arkansas about two teenage boys who were the same age as I was at the time. I had never before watched America's Most Wanted, but I did watch that episode. Right then and there, I wondered if the people who were covering up those murders had something to do with the cover-up of my mother's case. I filed this information in the back of my head. Since that time, I've created a website using my mother's name, posted case facts which I could legally post, and have written letters to state senators and other officials. I've been to the library, searched out for every single article I could find printed in the newspaper. I have also posted articles indirectly related to my mother's murder. At the prodding of one of my Facebook friends, I created a Linda Edwards Facebook page. Another friend created a Facebook group where comments can be made or discussed. On a daily basis, I post a newspaper article, newscast, or case facts in chronological order in the two Facebook groups and on the Linda Edwards Facebook page. I also post on Google+, Pinterest, and Twitter. Prior to posting in the Facebook group named Remembrance Hot Springs, I asked for and was granted permission. The point in posting an article a day is to spread awareness. Generally, I have 2 to 3 new people each week comment on or remember my mother, keeping that topic open. We also hosted a social media campaign whereby people were asked to call, email, Twitter, or Facebook a list of officials asking for the exhumation and DNA testing of Linda Edwards. On October 13th, we're having a petition drive at several locations, both in Hot Springs and in Malvern, asking people to sign the petition, which also asks for the exhumation and DNA testing of Linda Edwards. The petition is also available online at change.org. I have a section on lindaedwards.com dedicated to other unsolved cases. I try to include a synopsis, a picture, link to any sites pertaining to the cases. I encourage all to have your case listed so we can document the need to have a working cold case division. You can email me the details if you would like your cases to be added. Having cases listed on the website does work, as noted by the Ryan Bradley Hill case. Over 300 downloads of this petition have occurred since its story was shared on the lindaedwards.com website. There have been well over 400 page views of Ryan's stories, which leads readers directly to Ryan's memorial and Facebook pages. The purpose of compiling the list is to see if there are any connections or patterns, and secondly, to show the growing list of cold cases or unsolved murders in our state. I also would like to hear what you are doing that is working in your specific case, which brings me to us here in this breezeway. We all want and need the generous emotional support offered by the parents of murdered children. However, those of you with unsolved cases like mine also need support that will enable us to keep fighting for our loved ones. One person can't do it all, but together we can step outside of our comfort zones and make a difference. Many, like I have done in the past, will sit by and twiddle their thumbs while waiting on others to stand up. We have to quit sitting back, band together as one, diversify our talents, expand our core beyond the emotional support, and do something. Some of us can offer emotional support, some technical support. Others have legal backgrounds, and there is always legwork to be done. None of us have the time to fully devote as an individual, but we can all work together and accomplish these goals. I admit, sometimes I have to quit working on my mother's case, step back, and regroup. I have to lean on our core group for that support. I've learned it is a comforting, stepping away, and letting myself block the case from my mind. But I can't stay there. It would defeat the purpose, and you can't stay there either. Once we quit, they win. When you are beaten down from fighting for your loved ones, step back. Find your mind, clear your soul of the bitterness and sadness, gather your strength around you, bend down and pull up your boots by the straps, straighten your back, and take that renewed determination. Mix it with a little anger and get mad. Yes, I said mad. It makes me angry that my mother's case is unsolved. It makes me mad the prosecutor doesn't do anything. It makes me mad when I see other people suffering through the same problems with the system that I am fighting against. But, and here is where mad meets the road, I am motivated and determined to see this through to the end. Mad. I'm mad. I am motivated and determined. Together we can unite and help push through legislation that will change the way cold cases are handled. Together we can demand that elected officials are held accountable for their actions. I understand there are some things that may be in the works legislatively along these lines. When those items are ready to be presented, we, you, me, our family and friends need to stand up and support those who are trying to change things for us. Get mad. Get motivated and determined. In conclusion, I would like to read a poem my mother wrote before her death. I had this poem with her signature inscribed on her tombstone when I came back to Arkansas in 1989. New life. Are you held by the past? Oh, let it go into a total nothingness. And instead, let there flow the joy of the presence of God, that so enfolds you, it brings all you can possibly know, of health, of abundance, of peace, thus you grow into the fullness of being. The past is done, let it go. Let God's goodness, His truth, from now on be all that you know.